Okay, Miami, we get it. You're nothing but frauds and chokers, and you are the new Atlanta Falcons. The Miami Dolphins had high hopes for the 2023 season as Tua Tagovailoa would finally be back and ready to go alongside this potent offense and Mike McDaniel to lead the charge with this offense. Their defense was also pretty solid themselves. Not as flashy, but still a formidable unit for a defense. Now, typically in these videos, I like to break down game by game for the team season, but this one, I want to talk about the broad strokes. There were a few key themes for this Dolphins season, and it was dominate the bad teams like the Broncos, 70-20, but then struggle against teams that are competent. I mean, that was their kryptonite. They struggled against teams that were around 500 or over 500, and they could not get big wins against those teams, and it hurt them big time. The other factor with this team was they have zero clutchness. They struggled. When the division was on the line in December, they collapsed. They beat the Commanders, Jets, and Cowboys, but also had some head-scratching losses to the Titans and even the Bills. They dominated that Bills game until they choked it, not to mention the fact they got blown out by the Baltimore Ravens. So if you're trying to stay competitive and win the division, you cannot suffer a massive blowout, and you can't lose to the Titans and the Bills to lose that division. This collapse did end up costing them the AFC East and a date with the Pittsburgh Steelers that would have been at home and likely, if I'm being all honest, a relatively easy win for this Dolphins team to go to the divisional round. But instead, the Dolphins, because they lost the division to the Bills, had to go to Kansas City on a freezing cold night to face the Chiefs, who play well in the cold weather. And it was not a good game. The Dolphins struggled to gain any sort of a foothold and ended up scoring a touchdown early, only to get blown out 26-7, ending their season. So, where do the Dolphins go from here? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Mike McDaniel needs an advisor role, if you ask me. I think they need to have an advisor role for a head coach, because McDaniel, he has the potential. He has shown the fact that he can basically come up with some pretty good concepts. He just is having trouble using the right concepts at the right times. I'm not saying that I'm going to do any better than he would. He's got all the stuff. He's a great coach. But I feel like he just needs that little bit of advisory from someone who has that experience. A grizzled old veteran. You know, kind of like how the Seahawks are doing with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's going to stay around in an advisory role, you know, kind of help out the coach. That's what the Dolphins need. Because if they don't, Mike McDaniel's season is already getting toasty, and they're going to fire him next season if they have another season like this without an advisory role. Their best chance is to bring on an advisor and have Mike McDaniel learn under that advisor to become the next great head coach, because he has the potential to do it.